I was kind of hesitant to make this video because of two reasons. One, it's another one of those videos where I'm not really editing, and I'm kind of tired of just doing those. But I promise this is gonna be the last one. I don't care if people ask me to do like the Snyder Cut, or well, then I'd have to do like an actual scripted review because no way I'd remember everything in a 4-hour movie. I have a bigger chance to forget some stuff. And also because I kind of forgot a bit about this movie, and I didn't feel like talking about it because it's just not a very interesting movie to me. I decided to watch it because who knows, maybe it could have been fun. Some people that didn't like Kong Skull Island and Godzilla King of Monsters like me like this movie. And I don't really know where they're coming from because this is a very disappointing movie. I'll start up with the good stuff. I guess the CGI it's good. Sometimes it's amazing, but it's kind of what I expect from a movie with what's the budget of this movie? Something 160 to 200 million. I mean, you'd be kind of incompetent shit if you couldn't do something good out of that. It's the CGI is good. The story is intriguing. I was intrigued with why Godzilla was going against these people. I kind of felt a little bit bad, not nearly as much as people were saying, for Kong. And thankfully, there were some new monsters in that Hollow Earth area, which they explored a bit more. Not that much, but still enough for me to like. It was kind of cool, the monsters that you saw, the war bats, despite their screen time being, alright, this is gonna get a bit spoilery because that's the only way I can talk about the cons, which is pretty much most of the movie. They just got 30 seconds more screen time than the actual trailer, so they weren't in it that much, but they were cool. It's a little bit gory, it's entertaining. The fight sequences, when they happen, are pretty decent, albeit the ending one, it's fine, but I'll get into a problem I have. It's mainly because it's so much like Batman versus, not so much, but kind of like Batman versus Superman. Not too much, but still, I'm pretty sure Wingard was oh yeah, we'll avoid that mistake. It goes by a bit fast. One joke, it was if there's a corporate-friendly way to see sacrifice bit, then this would be it, or something like that. That kind of got a chuckle on me. If you were maybe slightly chuckle-worthy, but that's it. That is it with the movie. Maybe the Eevee girl was slightly interesting, but that's it. There are a total of, I think, 3 Godzilla vs. Kong fights, so there's a startling lack. And I know AVP probably had the same amount of fights, but AVP is kind of shit, and that movie's boring. At least it was slightly entertaining in the last 40 to 60 minutes, but that's it. That movie is kind of shit. It's not as bad as this because there's not many problems. But yeah, there's a startling lack of Godzilla versus Kong for a lot of them, and kind of a lack of Godzilla. He shows up, I think, a few times, but they're quite brief. There's that big aircraft carrier fight, which isn't 18 minutes, despite an article saying so. He shows up briefly in Hong Kong, but that's literally just the lead into the fight. And you see him briefly before an Apex, destroying something. And another brief scene, but it's very brief. There might have been some other brief moments, but they're basically, I think, honestly, I'm willing to bet that Godzilla only had slightly more screen time than the 2014 one. Which is funny because no one seems to have a problem with that, whereas everyone was bitching like little children about the 2014 one. When, the shark from Jaws had half the screen time. Same thing with the alien. Okay? It was just paced well, but this is just kind of for the title character, but it was literally the first named character, Godzilla. There's kind of a startling lack of Godzilla. When he was intimidating, he was actually intimidating. So that's another small thing, but that's so small because he's briefly intimidating, but that's it. Also, okay, I'll get into the fights because that's honestly the main, that's kind of the main attraction of this movie, despite only being maybe 20, if at all, maybe 20 minutes of the movie. Because it's still broken up by the human parts, which aren't interesting at all. And it's not because it's human stuff, and I'm not going to excuse bad writing some brain dead fans. Oh, it doesn't matter. No, it's 80. No, I don't care. It's a terrible excuse to allow bad writing to continue. But the main fights, there's this a very big bias towards Godzilla. Godzilla rarely actually gets any damage except for the last battle. There's one moment where Kong beats the hell out of him with his super powered pickaxe or some shit like it's Minecraft. And okay, he stayed down for like 10 seconds, but that's it. The rest of the time, he's briefly down, he gets back up. It's not even like there's any blood or anything. And for a horror director, that's weird. Like, yeah, there's a moment where like one of the war bats gets his head torn off. But same thing with the Meg. It's just animal violence, which is kind of lame. And it's not even like, I don't know. This movie is also kind of tame, but that's not a huge problem. But yeah, the fights were very biased towards Godzilla. He got no blood, basically, even in the end fight with, like, Mechagodzilla, who's literally spoiled in, like, even the first trailer, like, briefly, when you saw, like, one of the first shots, like, everyone was running down the stairs, you saw, like, a mechanical red thing, like, how did no one notice? Or maybe they did, but, like, that was obviously Mechagodzilla. And they spoiled him in, like, one other trailer, or I think another one, because there's literally one called Mechagodzilla. There's a trailer that's literally called the spoiler. Not called the spoiler, but it's basically just revealing the spoiler. Like, yeah, there's Mechagodzilla in this movie. Would have been a nice twist, but I don't know, I guess it doesn't matter, because apparently everyone in that universe knows what Mechagodzilla is. I'll get into that later, but either way, yeah, the fights, it's very biased towards Godzilla. He rarely I don't think he ever gets actually genuinely hurt, except for the last battle, but that's just once, and that's because it's Mechagodzilla. And they had to, like, do something with that. But yeah, Godzilla's always just, like, fine. I guess they took the criticism from King of the Monsters a bit too much, like Godzilla. Actually, I don't know. Actually, no, I think he was way too OP in Godzilla for King of the Monsters. Like, he just kept on going. I don't know, I don't remember, but then I don't think they changed that problem at all, which isn't really that surprising considering one of the idiots who wrote this movie was also a part of Godzilla King of the Monsters. And also Kong Skull Island. What was I actually expecting from this movie? But yeah, the fights, they feel very biased towards Godzilla. It just feels like Godzilla is king. Like, these movies just feel like a giant shill for Godzilla. Like, oh my god, Godzilla is like the Titan Jesus. It's just kind of annoying. The fights are kind of entertaining, but they're few and far between, too far between. Like, there's one 40 minutes in, which I guess is fine. I would have liked a one in the beginning when Godzilla attacked Apex, like maybe Kong came up, well, I don't know, maybe like he broke out, and then like they brought him, I don't know, something like, and then we have to wait another 40 minutes for one more fight, and then you have to wait like 10 minutes with some boring human stuff, because the humans are just so stupid and uninteresting in this movie, and I'll get to them, because they actually are a huge problem with this. And then you get one more fight, which I do have a problem with. I'll just get to that problem right now. So the end fight is Mechagodzilla's revealed after he kills these villains in like really just anticlimactic and silly way. They fight, Mechagodzilla fights Godzilla, and I guess Godzilla needs Kong's help, and I guess they team up to fight a creature that was made to kill one of them by this crazy dude who believes that they are just going to wipe out this entire planet or just ruin everything. Sounds really close to Batman vs. Superman. It's not exactly like it, but it's too much for me to not notice. It's just like, Jesus. Also, the villains are horrible, but I'll get into them later. But yeah, Mechagodzilla, they fight, and I guess Kong wins or something? I don't know. Again, this is a spoiler. I don't know. Neither of them lose. I guess just Godzilla fucks off. He's just like, whatever. I guess they don't hate each other, even though I don't think it was actually explained exactly why Godzilla was provoked. I guess there's something with like a Ghidorah skull or something, but this movie's forgettable, and I don't think actually that was even the answer. If someone could tell me why he was actually provoked, because it might have been a reason that I forgot, thank you, then I'll adjust my criticism. But yeah, it just kind of felt like Godzilla just was randomly, like, whatever, I guess they had mutual respect, even though, like, I mean, well, it's just, I don't know, it felt so abrupt, like they were fighting each other, and then Mechagodzilla just came and was like, hey, I gotta be a new villain, we gotta be exactly like BVS, or pretty close. And they fought, and then Godzilla's just like, I guess I have mutual respect for you, we need to find a way to end this movie. It's an hour and 15 minutes long, so maybe that contributes to why it's so abrupt. The pacing is just, it's like it goes by fast, but like, that's kind of another thing with the characters, because like, yeah. I'm sorry, that's kind of all over the place, but I guess, yeah, the pacing also contributes with the characters because there's not much time to actually develop them, but I'll get into that then, because aside from the fights, well, yeah, I guess that's it. That's what I have to say for the fights, because that's it. They're fine, but they're too far in between, and that's kind of it. Either way, on the characters, that Skarsgård dude, Alexander Skarsgård, yeah, he was boring as hell in this movie. Boring. Didn't give a rat's ass about him. He smiled one time, and that's like the extent of his emotional abilities. The rest of the time, he's just like there's a time where he briefly has like tears running down his eyes, but that's it. Other than that, I guess there's like this point where he's underwater, but they're like so brief. They're like 10 seconds long. Most of the time, he's just like this. He looks so stern. Like everyone in this movie just looks. They're either like making jokes or unfunny. Is how it feels. Just like. Or it's just everyone's so stern, like, we have to go. Why is Godzilla hurting everyone? Godzilla's like, Jesus, okay, we haven't chilled enough for him. Or it's just like, the world needs Kong. I'm sorry, it's not Godzilla. Yeah, they actually say that in the movie. A variation of it, it's such a dumb line, like, oh, the world needs Kong. It's a variation of that. Like, no, they just need these two to fuck off and stop being annoying. And we need no more MonsterVerse, or we just need better MonsterVerse movies and better characters, because, dear God, there's like 10 of them. There's like 3. How many subplots are linked to the humans? I think there's 1, 2. There kind of is 3 with the villains who are briefly in this movie. Like Walter Simmons, it's so obvious he's the bad guy. He could have said, "I'm the bad guy," not the fucking Billie Eilish song, but like, "I'm the bad guy," and it would have been the same, honestly. There's the subplot with like Julian Dennison, Millie Bobby Brown's, and Brian Tyree Henry's character, I think. Also Kyler Chandler is in this, like Mark Russell, the father of Millie Bobby Brown's character, Madison. He's literally in this for like 5 seconds. He's not even that interesting. He's just barely in it. He's just there to be like, oh, Godzilla's hurting people. We don't know why. Oh, you shouldn't do this. And then at the end, he tells like, one of the characters to shut up because the dude's stupid or some shit. Yeah, Brian Tyree Henry. Yeah, those 3, they have like a really uninteresting subplot that only becomes important once they reach apex and like actually start doing stuff. They basically kind of help defeat Mechagodzilla by spilling a drink on him, like alcohol, and then Bernie, I guess that's his character, is like, oh, I'm gonna die sober. Like, I don't give a shit. How about you just die? Because I don't care about you. Like, not the actual person in real life, but like, I don't care about your character. These 3 are. Madison, I heard like from other people that she's annoying. She's whatever. Like, Josh Valentine, I didn't know that is. I don't even think I knew his name was Josh, or I guess they said like once. They're like, oh, Josh, shut up. That was like half of Mark Russell's lines, or Kyle Chandler's lines, because he's barely in this again. Those 3 are just, they're there, they're not interesting. Most of the dialogue the characters say, and this isn't just the 3, this is especially Dr. Nathan, played by Alexander Skarsgård, and that girl played by Rebecca Hall. It's just like exposition. We're shilling over one of the 2 titans. It's like, oh, Kong bows, I'm like, okay, I don't care. It's just most of the dialogue they have is exposition to move this boring ass story along. It's not even done in ways with emotion, or ways you can kind of get a glimpse into this character. I guess Dr. Nathan had one of his brothers, or his brother, explode, just be completely crushed by the weird gravity of the hollow earth. That was interesting, but like, that's kind of the extent of his character. Rebecca Hall, she found this Ely girl, and she's okay. She's the connection with Kong, and it was kind of cool when they talked in like sign language. Like, I don't know. Please at me. I didn't get paid enough. It was cool. That was kind of that was probably the most characterization given Kong. And Kong, I do feel a bit bad for him. Like, I guess he's decent. Like, he's not annoying or anything. He's kind of likable. It's weird that Kong is like the only likable character, because I didn't care about those main 3, Nathan and Rebecca Hall, like Eileen or whatever. Like, those 2 scientists who were just shilling over the 2 titans, they were just kind of there. They tried to like get Kong to get to like Hollow Earth because they needed to like get something. And then this girl named Maya Simmons, the daughter, I think, of Walter Simmons, is coming along, and predictably she turns out to be a villain, and she does like a off-screen death where she gets crushed, but hey, whatever, gets that boring character out of the movie. But yeah, Walter Simmons and Ren Serizawa, is he related to Serizawa? I don't know. He's weird. He's not weird, he's just like, the two villains are obvious. They're cliche, they're so obviously the bad guys. They're not even fun. They don't even have any funny dialogue, like either one, fun or funny. They're just like, oh, we need to get rid of Godzilla, which makes sense because he is killing people. And Ren is just like, we need more time, which I guess makes sense, but they just were boring. They were boring. That's the main thing I want to get across with these characters. Aside from Kong, who even at points wasn't really interesting, there's a whole thing where it's like, oh, your family might be down there, even though I thought in Kong Skull Island, they were like, your family's dead. Whatever. Pretty much every character is boring. The one funny joke is made by Brian Tyree Henry's character, but that's it. But yeah, the two villains, they were just like, oh, we need to get rid of Godzilla, and then they die in the most laughably pathetic way, especially Walter. So Mechagodzilla, I guess, goes off-link, and then I guess that automatically means he wants to kill people. I thought his whole thing was like wanting to get rid of Godzilla. Like, I get it, he would have gone off. I get it, like he got off uplink or whatever. I don't know, it just felt so abrupt. Like, he just grabs Walter Simmons and I guess crushes him. But, like, it's just like he grabs him and he's like, ah! And then that's it. And then Ren Serizawa, I thought it was Ron. I don't know. Either way, he electrocutes to death and I'm just like, alright, well, okay. Two-fourths, half of our villains are dead. In the just most random anticlimactic ways. It was just poorly done. Like, was this written by a child? Like, this is just, the characters, it's just exposition. It's like they don't know how to actually move the story along without making these characters just spell it out. And the stuff they actually need spelled out doesn't get spelled out. How is it that movie writers, especially for big movies, just automatically think, you know what, I'm just going to make this as purposely retarded as possible and not try to make any sense of it. Just have these two fight. Godzilla's provoked. I don't actually remember the reason that was given why he was provoked. Let's have them team up like BVS, even though, sorry about that on this bit, even though I thought they hate each other, let's just have all the characters be boring. Let's have how many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's like 10 kind of main characters. There's like a few others, but like, it's uninteresting. What else do I have to say? I guess that's kind of the extent. Usually the characters I have a big problem with, and that this movie's forgettable. Okay, here's another thing, I guess, that I briefly brought before. The, pacing goes by fast, but, like, the pacing is kind of bad because I never really know that much about these characters, especially the main human characters. Kong, I guess I know a little bit about. I guess, like, he was destined for this. I don't know, like, he has that pickaxe thing, and, like, I kind of felt a bit bad for him. That's kind of it, though. Like, the 1 hour and 53 minute runtime, including credits, so it's like an hour and 45 minutes, just makes it very fast, but you don't care about anyone because you barely know them, and it's not even, like, perfectly paced, like some people say. Like, it's like every scene, I'd rather these scenes kind of drag on so that maybe there is a chance you know a bit more about these characters, because these scenes are so quick. And I think there's, like, one cut where, like, Rebecca Hall's character and, Nathan and, like, that Yui girl, they were, like, in the ship, and then Nathan was just gonna leave to do something. And then cuts to the next shot where Rebecca Hall's character and that Yui girl are out of the ship, even though I think in the previous shot they were in the ship. Small stuff like that, I get, like, maybe time constraints, and, like, you weren't able to shoot that shot because of something. But, like, the big stuff, like, the characters being so annoying, and the music, which is decent, but I don't know if it's that noteworthy. I didn't even notice it half the time. But who knows, maybe it was good. It was okay at times, but, like, it was, again, pretty, not really noteworthy, like most Marvel soundtracks. But maybe I need to give it another watch, like the film in general, just to remember some stuff. But yeah, the fights were pretty biased. It was kind of tame. The characters weren't interesting. It went by too fast. The villains died in, like, these lackluster ways. And also, another thing that I'm pretty sure I brought up earlier, people apparently know about Mechagodzilla. So either Apex did a shit job covering it up, or they just want to be self-aware, and it wasn't a funny joke. I don't know. Either way, let me know what your thoughts are on this movie. Did you like it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Did you really hate it? Whatever. Make sure to like and subscribe. You don't have to. It's free. You can unsubscribe whenever you want. It helps the channel out. Close to 1K. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.